demonstration site here on my screen. If you can't see it or you're having any trouble hearing me, please let me know by putting it into the question screener. You can also call this number if you're having any technical difficulties or you want to speak to someone if you're having any trouble at all. And that's going to be this 888-332-5316. So I'm going to go ahead and do this orientation session on this demonstration site. If you want to follow along with your own site, please feel free. You'll just log into your own website and follow along with what I'm doing. So to get started, we're just going to go through how to log in. So you'll use this key down here at the very bottom left-hand side of your site. This is going to be there whether you're on a trial or your site is live. Once you click on that, you're going to be taken to the login screen. Username is always administrator, all lowercase. Password will either be the temporary password that was set up with your trial, or if you've already changed it, it will be the new password that you've set up. So now that we're logged in, I now see these gray editing tools up here, the edit content, edit special, all of that. And to get started, I'm just going to show you what each section of the site is, and then from there we'll talk about how to edit each one of those sections. So starting at the top, we have our menu here. This is going to be every page within the website categorized out, and these can all be customized, and we'll go through that at the end of the orientation. Then here I have my header area. That's going to be the very top of your website. And then over here in this sidebar, we have what's called the common content area. Depending on what template you're on, this can either be on the left or the right, and it can either be above or below your menu. And then down here we have the footer area. That's going to be the very bottom portion of your site. So because this header, common content, and footer appear on every page of the website, so no matter where you are, whether you're on the home page or About Us, you're always going to see that information. You actually edit that through Admin Home, and that's going to be this button right here. Admin Home is the administrative area of the website. You can make lots of changes back here. This is kind of the back end of the website. So to get started, I'm going to show you the administration area, and that's where you're going to go to edit the header, the footer, or the common content, those three areas we were just looking at. So if we jump into the header content, again, this is going to be the very top portion of your site. And this is what our editor looks like. It'll look like this whether you're working on one of the static pages on your site or if you're in the header, footer, or common content. Our editor works a lot like Microsoft Word. You can highlight text. You can change the font color. You can change the font size. You can change the font type. You can italicize, bold. You can align text to the left, right, or center. And we'll get more into these editing options when we go out back to the site. So things that you'll want to include in your header, you're definitely going to want to have the name of your clinic. You're going to want to have your location listed, and you'll want your phone number. You'll notice here that the phone number is actually a link. To do this, you just you highlight the number. Whoops. You're going to highlight the number, and if you right-click, your first option here is Insert Edit Link. And then all you have to do is do TEL and then colon and your phone number. That's going to automatically tell the system that this is a phone number that you're putting in. And then what will happen is when your clients are viewing your website on a mobile device, they can actually just click to call you. So they just have to click it once, and it will give them the option to call the clinic. Something else that you'll want to include in your header is a logo if you have one. That can definitely help personalize your website. If you don't have a logo, we actually have a designer here that can help you create one. So feel free to send us an email and we can help you out with some ideas. You can let us know what colors you're interested in having, or if you have something unique about your clinic that you want to highlight, we can definitely incorporate that into a customized logo for you. And then anytime you make a change that you want to save, you just want to make sure that you hit update here. Now jumping over to that footer content, this is going to be the very bottom part of the site. When we start you off with a trial, we include two links here to a policies and a privacy page. You can choose to delete these. You can edit them. You can add your own buttons or images here. If you are part of any veterinary organizations, this is a great place to highlight that. This is basically just another point where you can highlight things to your clients. It's not going to be front and center. It'll be down at the bottom of your site, but it will appear on every page. And then last but not least, we have the common content, which in our case is on the left side of the site. This is going to be that area that's in the sidebar. We start you off with an hours table, and you can just come into here and edit this if you need to change these hours. And again, these are hours that will appear on every page of your website. You can also add your own text here. If you wanted to add your phone number one more time, you could put that there. You can add images to this section. And then here's where you can highlight any special messages about your hours. If you're closed during a certain time, this is a great place to highlight that. Also in the common content, we include some social media icons. You'll definitely want to link these to your social media pages. If you don't use Facebook or Google+, you can feel free to just delete those. And we also have some different options for these buttons here, and we'll come back to this in the end, and I'll show you what options we have. But we have some paw prints and some other options that you can switch these out for. We also include a Get Directions link with a little map. This is going to lead your clients to the Contact Us page where they can either fill out a form to contact you, or they can look at the interactive Google map to get directions to your clinic. Again, this whole area can be completely personalized. You can put whatever you'd like in here that you want to highlight to your clients. And then if you make any changes, just make sure you hit update here. Going back out to admin home, there are some other administrative tasks that you can use here, the main one being mail. So if you are set up to get email accounts with us, and if you have any questions about your domain name settings or whether or not you can set up emails, feel free to contact us and we can help you out with that. But this is where you would go to create your email account. And you can create up to 20 accounts with us, and basically it would be an email address that includes your domain name. So drsmith@animalclinic.com. And again, you can create up to 20. So if you wanted to have a staff account or a reception account or a pharmacy account, you could create those here. Going back to admin home, the last thing I want to note here is that this is where you can change the entire look of your website. So this is where you can change the template. This shows you which one you're currently on. So I can see here that I'm on Cherry right now. And if I wanted to change that, I would just click on this Change Template button. So this shows me what style I'm currently on. You'll want to make a note of this if you're ever changing your template, just in case you do want to go back to what you were on before. So if I were to change my template right now and I didn't like it, I would know that I just need to come back in and go to Cherry Style 6. These are all of the templates that we have available. These are all mobile responsive, which means they'll automatically resize for mobile devices and tablets. You can hover over these to get a larger graphic of what they look like. And you don't want to get too hung up on the colors or the images. You're basically just looking at the bones of the site. So in this case, we have the header at the top, the menu right below it, the common content on the left. And then on this one, we have the menu on the left and the common content below it. This one, same thing on the left. So you can kind of look through these and see which one you like the look of the best. And again, you'll be able to choose your colors and images to go along with the template. So you're basically just looking at where you want the menu and the common content to be. So I'm going to go ahead and switch us over to this cottonwood template. And after I've selected the template, I now have the option to choose an image to go with it. So I can choose one of these stock images here, or have the option to choose no image. That's going to mean that I have no image in the template, or I can email images in. So if you have any images of your clients that you want to include on your website, this is a great way to personalize your site. All you have to do is email those to us, and we can incorporate that into the template. And depending on what template you're on, we can actually do rotating images. So we can have a few scrolling along the top. I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And once I've selected the image, I now have the choice to select the style, which is going to be the color scheme. So you can select from any color scheme with the template that you've chosen. And if you don't like any of these colors, we can definitely personalize the colors for you. So if you want to choose the colors that your lobby is painted or that you have in your logo, just get in touch with us and we can grab those color codes and we can incorporate that into the template for you. So I'm going to go ahead and select this Style 7 red. And now if I go back out to the website, I'm going to see that my template is now changed. So I'm now on the cottonwood template with the red color scheme and that photo that I selected. And if you were to send us your own image or images, this is where they would go if you were on this particular template. And I just want to show you really quick one of our eVetSites websites that is using, this is the same template, the Cottonwood, but they've personalized it a little bit. So they have a rotating slideshow here with images of their own patients that they see there. And then we've also customized the colors for them here, and we created this logo. So if you have any interest in changing the colors, getting a logo created, or doing something like this, please get in touch with us. We can definitely help you with personalizing your site and customizing it. Okay, so now that we're back out at the website, we now have our common content on the right with this template. And I'm just going to show you how we can start editing each page on the site. So for this particular home page, we just have basic text and images and some links. So to edit this page, I'm just going to use the Edit Content button. Once I click that, a new window opens for me, and I see all of the text and images that are on the live page. Again, this is a lot like Microsoft Word. If I wanted to change the color of this, I can just highlight it and change it. I can also align the text. So if I wanted this off to the right instead, I would just click the right, or the left if I wanted it over there. You can also italicize. You can change the font type. You can have fun playing around and making it look like you want it to. As far as images, if you want to delete one that's already there, you can just click on it and hit delete on your keyboard, and it will completely wipe it out. If you want to add your own in, you just want to put your cursor wherever you want the image. So if I wanted to instead put my own image where that last one was, I'll just put my cursor there. I can see it blinking. And then if I right-click with my mouse, the second option here is Insert Edit Image. You can also get to this by clicking this button here within the editor. So if I click Insert Edit Image, that's going to bring up this window here, which is asking where I want to pull the image from. That's this source field. If you click on this button, which is a little folder with a magnifying glass, that's going to open up the File Manager. The File Manager houses all of our stock images, and they're categorized by species. Or you can do the Upload button and choose a graphic from your own computer. So I'm going to go ahead and add a picture of my own pet. So I'm going to do Add Files here, and I'm going to click on her picture. So right now I see it's at 0%. In order to get this to upload, you do have to click this blue Upload button, and then you'll see it crawl up to 100%. I'm going to go ahead and close that since it's done, and then hit Insert. So you'll see the picture's already selected since it's the one I just uploaded. So all you have to do is hit Insert, and that'll be the one that you're putting into the site. This is showing me the dimensions of the photo. I'm not going to change that just yet. I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm just going to hit OK. And now my new picture is in there. You'll notice that the picture looks pretty large, and now my text is all the way down at the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this picture a little bit, and I'm also going to wrap this text around the image. So I'm going to line this text up all the way at the top of the image so that it's wrapping around it, so I don't have this blank white space here. So to start, I'm going to resize this image by double-clicking on it, and I'm just going to change these dimensions. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this about in half. So to do that, I'm going to put my first number here, and I actually don't even need to manually change this. If I just click out here, it automatically resizes that other portion of the photo. So now it's 250 by 250. I'm going to hit OK. And now we see it's shrunk down to those dimensions. Now to get this text to wrap around, I'm going to double click again. And there's some more options under this Advanced tab. So options here are you can add margins around your photo. You can add a border. So if I wanted to add a colored border, I just select the color that I want and hit OK. And then I want to give it a width. So this is going to read as pixels. Anything 1 through 10 is safe. If you want to have a pretty thick border, you'll want to go above that. I'm just going to go ahead and do 5 for now. Now aligning it. So I want my picture to be on the left over here, and I want my text to be wrapping on the right. So I'm going to align my photo to the left. So now I've aligned it to the left-hand side of that page. I've given it a border of 5 pixels with this particular color. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So now we now have that border that I picked around the edges of it, and now we have the text right up here on the right. You'll notice that the text is right along the picture here. It's bumping right up against it. I want to go ahead and space that out a little bit so it's not right up along that border. I'm going to double click, go back to the advanced, and I'm going to give this a margin. This again will be read as pixels. I'm going to go ahead and do 5. If our photo was aligned on the right, I would want to do a left margin. So you just want to do the opposite of wherever your photo is. You want to add a margin on the other side. I'm going to hit OK there. And now you'll notice that we have some space between our picture and our text. Another option here is you can add an image description. This is going to be what's read if you hover over the image. So if here I want to put mango sitting outside and hit OK. Now when I hover over this, I see mango sitting outside. So this is a great way to add some descriptions to your images, and it also helps with your SEO, which is your search engine optimization. Google will pick up on the words that you put into those image descriptions. So if you have a photo of one of your veterinarians, it's a good idea to put in the description the name of the vet and even the name of the clinic too. So as far as linking things, you can link images. So if I wanted to link this, I could. You can link graphics like this, little icons. So this one would take you directly to the pet library. Or you can select certain words and link those. So let's say I wanted to link this services word over to our services page. All I'm going to do is highlight the word, right-click, do Insert Edit Link, which is this first option here. You can also get to this by clicking this link here. I'm going to click on that. Now this is asking me the URL of where I want this to go to. So if I were linking to an outside page like my Facebook page or my Google Plus page, I would just put that URL right into here. I could just copy and paste the entire thing starting with HTTP. In this case, I'm actually linking to a page within the website, so I can choose from this link list. This link list will have every page that's on the website, and you can link directly to it. So in this case, I'm highlighting the word services, so I want it to go to the services page. I'm just going to click on that. So this is going to be the text that displays that clients will click on. The system has now automatically put in the page slug for this page that's on our website. And then the rest I'm going to leave alone. If I were linking to an outside page like a Facebook page, I would change this target to new window. That's going to mean that rather than opening in the same page, it will open up in a new tab. And I'll cover this again at the end when we change the Facebook icon, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to hit OK here, and now I see that my services page is now linked. So I'm going to hit Save Content, and then we'll see that that takes us directly to that page. So right within the same window, we're now taken to the services page. Okay, so if you have any questions about links, images, or template changes, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break for a second. So go ahead and type any questions you have in. Okay, great. I haven't seen anything come in so far. If you do think of anything, please feel free to put it in the question screener and I can get to it. Okay, so jumping over to About Us, this is just going to be a page describing a little bit more about your clinic. You'll want to make sure that you update this with any unique information about your clinic. And then we have the staff page. The staff page is all aligned within a table. So you'll notice here that all of the text here is right at the same width from the graphic. To do that, this is all set up in a table. This helps everything look more uniform. So if we go up here to edit content, and again, this is edit content just because it's basic text and images. So if I go here, I'm going to see that this is set up in a table right now. And I know that because I can see these little lines, these little dashed dotted lines that are wrapping around all of this. So in this particular table, we have 2 columns. So we have 1 column for the images, 1 column for the bios, and then we have 3 rows. So we have 1 row for this doctor. Then we have a buffer row to give us some space between the 2 bios. And then we have a row for this doctor. So all you have to do when you come into here is you can just change the names here. and you can update the bios with your own information. And then over here, we would just delete this picture like we did on the home page and add in our own. You could also just right-click on an existing image and do Insert Edit Image to upload one on top of it. And that'll just replace it out with whatever you upload. So let's say you had a new staff member come on board and you already had the 2 staff members put in here and you wanted to add a third. You're going to want to add 2 rows to the end of this. You're going to want to add 1 row for another buffer and then 1 row for the next bio. So what you want to do is you'll right-click within the last cell. So each of these is a cell. We have 6 cells here. So in this last cell, if we right-click, we have some options here to add some rows or columns. So if we go here, you'll see one of the options is Insert Row After. That's going to put a row right after this one. So if we click on that, now we have our buffer row here. Now I need to add 1 more row for the next bio. So I'm just going to go into this last cell, right-click, row, Insert Row After. So now I have my next space for the next doctor's bio. And then we would put the image over here. If I wanted to add an additional column, let's say I wanted to have a column with all of the staff members' pets or their education, if you just right-click, you can also go to the column options and insert a column after. So now I have a column over here where I could type in all of their school information. You also have the ability to create whole new tables. So if there wasn't already one here for me starting off on the trial, and I wanted to create my own from scratch, all you have to do is put your cursor where you want to put the table, and you can go up here to the Table tab and go to Insert Table and select the number of cells you want. So this is going to represent what the table would look like as you hover over it and it turns blue. So in this case, we would have a 2 by 2, 2 columns, 2 rows. When you first create a table, it is kind of scrunched up, and all you have to do is click within each cell, and you'll see it opens up a little bit. So now I could put in a photo or text here, and then if I wanted to come into this one, same thing. If you ever create a table and you decide you don't actually want it, if you just right-click, you have the option to delete it here. Some other options with tables, if you go to the table properties, I just did that by right-clicking inside of the table. You can change the width of the table. You can change the alignment. Going to this Advanced tab, you can also add a border or a background color. So if you wanted to highlight anything within the table, you could add a background color to a specific cell. Or if you wanted to add a border to the entire table, you could do that here. So just some different options with tables. And again, tables are important just because they help you align all of the text so that it looks uniform. So if you have something like a staff page where you're going to have a lot of information repeating over and over, you're going to want to do something like a table so that it looks uniform, you have good spacing, and that it's all aligned perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So again, a table can be created on any page. It doesn't just have to be a staff page. You can put it wherever you'd like. Going over to the services page, this is included with all of our trial sites. You'll want to go through this page and make sure that we're not listing anything that you don't offer at your clinic, and also that you highlight anything unique that you do offer at your clinic. So if we don't have something listed here that you do offer, you'll want to add that in. So make sure you go through that page. We also have another hours page. So if you don't have your hours listed here, or even if you do, you can have a page here that also lists your hours. We keep it under About Us. You can put it wherever you'd like within the menu, though. So here we have a table set up showing each day of the week and when you're open or closed. In this particular page, if we go to Edit Content, we're not going to see anything. And that tells me that I need to switch to Edit Special. Edit Special is going to be for any of our template form pages. So if I click over here, I now see I have the option to change the hours from here. So I have these drop downs. If I ever change my hours, I can just come into here and update them through this. If you're closed any of these days, all you have to do is click that. And then you would just save if you make any changes. You can use Edit Content on this page if you want to do any special message on top of the hours table. So if you want to highlight that you'll be closed for the holidays, You can just do something like that and hit save, and that will put that directly above your hours table. If you have a day of the week where you're closed for an hour for a staff meeting or anything like that, this is also a great place to highlight that. And I do see we got a question about the services page. How did you get the images next to each service category? That's a great question. So I'm going to go back to that page. This particular page comes with the trial, so these little graphics are already put in. If you wanted to add your own, you can go to Edit Content. So right here, you'll see that this is set up in a table, and each row has one of the services. If you wanted to add your own image here, you can. So let's say that wasn't there. I'm just going to delete it. And you wanted to add an image, you can just right-click here, do Insert Edit Image, go into the File Manager, and then you can either upload your own or you can use one of our icons. And then once you've done that and you hit Insert, that'll appear right there next to the service. So you can do that for any one of these if you wanted to change them out or add one if there isn't one there already. If you want us to create an icon for you or you don't see one that you'd like, let us know and we can help you out with that too. Okay, so we did the hours page. Again, just make sure that you know that you can add special notes up here. We also have the ability to embed a blog. If you have a blog for your clinic that you run, you can definitely add that into the website. What would happen is you would just click on Edit Special. This particular page is a blog page type, and I'll get to that once we go into the menu. But basically, all you would do is select where your blog is hosted, put in the URL here, and then you have some options as far as entries and whether or not the first one is open. And then once you submit that, your blog is embedded right within your website. So you don't need to tell clients to go to a separate link to get to your blog. They can just view it all right within here. Jumping over to the pet library. The pet library is something that we offer with all of our websites. If you do have it on your site, you're going to want to make sure that it's activated. When you start with a trial, it is not activated, so you need to jump in there and go ahead and activate it yourself. And to do that, you only have to do it once. You just click on Edit Special, and you just select the species that you want to show here. So if you only see dogs and cats, you would just select dogs and cats and hit Save. And then when you close that, you'll see now that it's activated. So the pet library allows your clients to search certain topics, and they can select which species or all, and they can just type in anything they want here. So let's say they want to learn more about fleas. They just type in a topic, hit search, and it's automatically going to search the VIN pet library. So here are all of our results. You can click right within here to read the full article. So they don't have to leave your website at all. They can just view the entire article right within this embedded page. You also have the option to print the article or email it. So this is a great opportunity to drive traffic to your website. If you discuss a particular topic with a client during an appointment, you can always tell them if you want to learn more about this, feel free to go to our pet library on the website. They can come here and they can search all of those articles. You can also come here and click email. So if you're in an appointment with them talking to them, you can always ask for their email address here and then just directly email them the article. We also have the informational pages. Again, these come with every trial site. These pages are automatically updated by us, so you don't need to worry about refreshing them. So the Pet Food Recall Center, this is automatically going to come from the Drug and Food Recall Center from VIN. So all of these articles and recalls automatically get updated. If you don't want this page to be on your website, I am going to get to how to delete pages or hide them. So if there's any information on the site that you don't want to be available to your clients, we'll go through how to hide that from them. So this is the Drug and Food Recall Center. We also have how-to videos. We just have some videos here that we think would be useful for your clients. If you don't like any of these, you can delete them. If you have your own YouTube channel and you want to put your own videos on here, that's definitely an option as well. You can just embed those directly within this page. And to do that, you would just go to Edit Content. And you can delete these videos or you can embed new ones onto this page. We also have the Poisonous Plants page. This is set up in a table, you'll notice. We have 4 columns here and then tons of rows. If you wanted to delete any of these, you can, or you can add your own if you see any that are missing. And then lastly, we have the links page. These are just some links that we think would be useful for your clients. You can update these however you see fit. If you want to delete any of these, please feel free, and you can also add your own. So if you have any links that you refer your clients to, you can put those right within this list. Now jumping over to the forms section. So forms are a really powerful tool that we offer through the website. This is going to allow your clients to fill out the form online, and then it gets emailed to you. So they can submit it directly from their computer. Makes it a little bit easier for everyone. We have some that we offer with the site, like a new client, prescription refill, change of address, and request appointment. If you wanted to add your own form, like say you offer boarding at your clinic and you want to have them fill out a boarding appointment form or an agreement form, you can put that onto here as well. And you can choose to hide any of these or delete any of them. You don't have to keep them all, and you don't have to keep any of them if you don't want to. We also have a files page. If you would prefer that your clients fill out a form that they then bring into the clinic, this is a great place where you can upload these, and clients have the option to print it out from home and fill it out to have it brought in already filled out. So again, just saves a little bit of time. So if you prefer that they don't fill anything out online that gets emailed to you, this is another option as well. I'm going to jump into one of the online forms that we offer just to show you what it looks like. So this is the new client form. These are the questions that we ask here. These can all be personalized. So if you don't like anything that's being asked, or you have a specific question that you want to ask of your clients here, you can add those in or delete any. And to do that, we actually use the Edit Special button. That's because this is a template page. If I were to go to Edit Content, I'm only going to see this information up here. So if you wanted to add any special note up there, you can do that here. If you want to instead link to a PDF version, you have that option. And then I'm going to switch to Edit Special to get to the actual form. So this is where you'll go to change any of those questions, add your own, or if you're building a form from scratch, this is what it will look like when you're building it. So form name, whatever you want to title the form. This is where your form responses will be sent to. If you want it to go to multiple email addresses, all you have to do is add a comma and then put in the next email. The form response, this is what your clients will see if they've successfully submitted a form. Show CAPTCHA, that's going to be a verification code that they would have to type in before they're able to submit it. And that helps cut back on any spam submissions. So we definitely suggest that you leave that on. And then here we have all of our questions. So this particular form was already built. So we have the option here to change questions around, delete them, move them, or uncheck if they're required or not. So if I wanted to delete a question, just hit this red X. To move a question up or down, just use these arrows. So if I wanted to move name down one, I just click that once, and now it's below pet's name. You can also mark whether or not a question is required. And then if you want to add your own, you have these options here. So we have some standard fields where you can add a question directly from here, or if you want to ask your own, you can use these text areas down here. And then you have the option to enter where you want the question to be put into the form. So you can put it before certain questions, and then once you've selected your question type and where you want it, you would just hit update, and you would see it appear within the form. And then anytime you make a change, you just want to make sure that you hit update, which is all the way down here, and then you can just close this. So all of the forms are going to look the same. If I come into this one, it's going to be the same template, adding questions here. Now, if your clients ever tell you that they've submitted a form but you didn't receive it, it's possible that they didn't put in the verification code correctly, so it didn't actually get successfully submitted to you. Or if it did get successfully submitted and it never got to you, you can always check results here. So there's this View Results Here button. If you click on that, that's going to show you all of the successful submissions that have come through, and it will show you the date that they came through. So you'll see all of the information here that was input, and then the date that it came in. You can also download this into an Excel file so that it's a little bit easier to view, and you can also print it out. You can also delete any results or all results if you've already processed them. So this is a great place to check if somebody says that they didn't get a response. You can check if it did actually come through. We also offer some more features. These are all pretty self-explanatory. We have a calendar page. If you have any events coming up that you want to highlight to clients, this is a great place to put those. We have an employment page. If you have any employment opportunities that you want to feature on your site, you can put those here. And if you wanted to build a form for applicants to fill out, that's another great opportunity to do a form page. We also have a photo album page if you wanted to add pictures of your own clients and patients that you see there. We have an adoptions page if you want to highlight any pets that are up for adoption. We have a coupon page which we keep hidden when you start with us. If you have any coupons, though, that you would like clients to be able to print out and bring in, it's a great place to do that. They can just click here and it will show the coupon options. We have a site search and a site map. And then I'm going to jump over to this Contact Us page. So our Contact Us page comes with an embedded Google map here. This is really useful. Your clients can see exactly where you're located. They can also click on this to get directions and view the larger map. This page also includes a form on it. You can choose to hide this form, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But basically, when they come to this Contact Us page at the very bottom, they have the option to fill this out and send you any questions or comments that they might have. So if we come up here to edit content, we're just going to see that top information here. So this is where you can highlight if you're hard to find or your parking lot is in a weird area or you're behind the Safeway or something like that. This is a great place to highlight any information like that that you want your clients to know about. You can also link to any forms that you want to lead them to, or you can refer them to emergency pages if you wanted to do that. And then switching over to Edit Special, this is where that map is pulling from. So we have the name of the clinic, the address. If the address were ever to change, you can just update that. And then the map will automatically refresh with the new address. Down here is where the form is pulling from. So if I were to delete this entire email address, it's going to wipe out that form from the page. Or you can just change the email address if you want it to go somewhere else. But I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. And you'll see now I've changed the address, and my map now shows the new address and the location on the map. And now our form is gone because I've deleted that email address. If I want to get that form back, all I have to do is go into here and relist an email address. We also have the emergencies page. This is definitely a page that if you have it live on your site, you're going to want to make sure that it's linking to a clinic that you would like to refer clients to in case of emergencies. When we start you off, we actually just list your, your own clinic. So you'll want to make sure that you come up here to Edit Special and you change this to whatever clinic you actually like to refer them to. So you can type in their information here, their address, their phone number, and then it will automatically link these maps with their information. So I'm just going to close that. So you'll see now it says ER Clinic, and then I would put their information here. There's a question about the Edit Special with the map not updating. Go ahead and let me know what your website is, and I can take a look into that. It might be that Google's having trouble finding the location. So go ahead and let me know what your website is, and then I can take a peek after the orientation, and I can get back to you on that and make sure that it's all updated. Underneath Contact Us, we also have this client feedback form. This is a form that they can just fill out with any questions or comments. Again, you don't have to have this on your live site. You can hide this. But this is just something that will be between you and the client. It's not going to be posted to the website or anything. They would just fill this out, submit it, and it gets emailed to you. So the last thing I want to cover is editing the menu. So that's going to be editing this section here, all of the pages within your website and how they're categorized. So coming up here to Edit Menu, these are all of the pages within our website. We can hit this plus sign to expand out all of the different sections. So you have a few options here. You can add new pages, you can delete existing pages, or you can hide pages. So let's go ahead and jump over to our staff. Let's say I wanted to go ahead and delete this page. All you have to do is click this button here, hit OK, and now it's going to be gone from our menu. If you wanted to add a new page, you have the option to add it under an existing category, which would be a sub-level menu. So if I wanted to add a page here featuring the clinic pets, I can just do that here. And I'm just going to leave it as a basic web page, save menu information, and now we have our clinic pets page underneath About Us. You have some options here when you're adding a new page. You can add a title. You'll just want to make this as descriptive as possible. Google is going to pick up on these words that you put in. The page slug, the system will automatically create that for you. And then here is where you can put a description of what's on that page, a little bit about your clinic, where you're located is a good thing to put here. And when you do add a new page, the system will automatically pull all of this, but then you can add to that as well. Page type. When you're adding a new page to the website, you have the option of what type of page you want to add. So if you just want to do the basic text and images, you'll just do a basic web page. If you want to add any specialized page, you can choose from all of these. They're all pretty self-explanatory, but if you ever forget, you can click here for descriptions. But let's say you wanted to add a blog page, you would just click on that. If you wanted to add a new form, you would just add a form page advanced, and then you can build your own form. You can add hours of operation table. So any type of page that you want to add, when you're adding a new one, you have the choice of what type of page it's going to be. Something I also want to show you is hiding pages. So let's say we didn't want to have the Pet Food Recall Center shown on our site. You don't have to delete the whole page, you can just hide it. Hiding a page is also really useful if you're working on a page but you're not quite ready to have it live. So if you're working on creating some new content but you don't want clients to see it yet, all you have to do is click this hidden page option and say yes, and then save your menu. And now you'll see it's in parentheses here. In parentheses means it's a hidden page and you have to be logged in to see it. So only an administrator, someone with the password for your website, would be able to see this content. If you ever decided, oh, I actually want that to be on my site, you just have to come in here and say no, save, and it will unhide it. Okay. So now I'm going to jump back over to Admin Home and show you how to change out those buttons now that we know how to link and add images. So let's say I wanted to switch this out for the paw print Facebook icon. I can just right-click on this, do Insert Edit Image. I'm going to click on this to get back into the File Manager. And then here are all of the icons that we have available. So you can add any of these to your website. If you are looking for something that we don't have here, please let us know and we can always look into adding it. So here we have care credit buttons, we have little hours icons, we have credit card icons, and then here we see our Facebook options. So we have options for different social media. We have the Facebook buttons, we have Google buttons, Google Plus buttons, we have Pinterest. So if you just scroll through here, you'll see all of the options that we have. Here's Tumblr. So coming back up to the Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and click on this paw print. I'm going to leave those dimensions and hit OK. And now we see we have a little paw print here. I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. So again, I'm just changing that first dimension and clicking out, and it automatically resizes the other side. So now we have a little Facebook paw rather than the square. To link this, just right-click, insert edit link, and just make sure that it's your clinic Facebook here. You can always just copy and paste your own URL right into here. And then again, the title is going to be what they see when they hover over that. And then we've done target new window because we're taking them to a page outside of our website. I'm going to hit OK here, hit update, and go back out to the website so we can see what that looks like. So we have our Facebook button. When we hover over it, we see that text that we put in there. When we click on it, we're taken to a new tab. Okay, so we're just about done. I'm going to open up for questions in just a minute. Some other things I did want to point out, we do have the help site up here. If you're ever stuck on anything, you can click on that. That will take you to the eVetSites help page. You can search for topics here. You can also go through our tips and tricks if you ever get stuck on anything. And also always feel free to call or email us. Our information is right on this page. We're always just a phone call away if you're having any trouble with the editor or if you want to make any changes to your site. Please get in touch with us. That's what we're here for. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is that we do offer makeovers for websites. So if you're not happy with your website right now, if you're ready to do a refresh, you want to update things and make it look new and shiny, please get in touch with us. We can help you with that. We can create what's called a copy site. That's where we literally copy your site into a separate site, and you work on it behind the scenes. So you would have two websites. One would be hidden that we would be working on for a makeover, and then you'd have your live site. So your clients don't need to see the changes that you're making, but once you're happy with how things look, we can just take the makeover site live in place of the one that you have now. So if that's something that you're interested in, please give us a call or send us an email, or you can put it into the question screener right now that you're interested, and we'll get in touch with you. And that's basically a great opportunity to work on adding some new features or changing the template without actually affecting your live site. We also offer SEO consultations. So SEO is going to be search engine optimization. We teach you some tools and tricks for how to maximize your presence online and how to increase your Google rankings. So if you're interested in that, we can set up an appointment for you to meet with Jose, and he can walk you through that. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions for now. If you have any questions, or if you're interested in a makeover or want me to go over anything again, please feel free to let me know in the question screener. Someone has a question about customizing colors. And yes, you can customize colors on the website no matter what template you're on. So if I wanted to change this red to a different color that was the color of my lobby or the color that's in my logo, you can just email us and let us know what colors you're looking to incorporate into your site, and we can help you out with that. So like I said, no matter what template you're on, we can help you with incorporating your own colors into that. And we can also add colors to different sections of the site. So if you wanted your header to have a color, just let us know and we can help you out. Basically, we just grab the color codes from your logo or whatever image you send us, and then we can add those into the template. We can also customize colors of links. If you don't like the link color that you have on your site right now, we can change some of the coding to change that as well.